Hey, this is Warren Redlick. I have a Tesla Nair topic, so I'm wearing the Tesla Nair t-shirt. T-shirts at elonbits.com. Let's talk about 10 Tesla targets for 2022. What's going to happen in 2022 with Tesla? Are you ready? Let's go. The biggest sort of top line number I think we're going to see for 2022 is I think Tesla might actually succeed in delivering 2 million vehicles for 2022. 2 million vehicles for 2022. Sounds like a big number. It is a big number. In 2020, Tesla did about 500,000 vehicles. It looks like for 2021, Tesla's going to do about 900,000 vehicles, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. So that's an 80% increase. An 80% increase on 900,000 vehicles might get you to 1.6 million. But with Giga Berlin and Giga Texas coming online, with Shanghai continuing to grow, and likely significant growth in Tesla Fremont, I think we're possibly going to see 2 million vehicles delivered in 2022. This is a stretch goal. With all the supply chain hurdles and other things that come up, this is the potential that Tesla could achieve pretty much if everything goes right. If all goes well, 2 million vehicles is actually attainable. The odds are something will get in the way, but I think we should look for close to 2 million vehicles. At an average selling price of $50,000 a vehicle, 2 million vehicles would be $100 billion in revenue. That's a big number. We're going to talk more about that later. Giga Shanghai is already on a pace of over 600,000 vehicles a year. Probably going to do 700,000 vehicles out of Shanghai, maybe 800,000 vehicles. That means you only need 1.2 million more out of the US and Europe. Fremont is probably going to be good for 500,000 vehicles. So now you need 700,000 vehicles out of Giga Berlin and Giga Texas. And I think we're going to get there. I think we're going to see that level of volume coming out of Giga Berlin and Giga Texas. That's what we need to get to 2 million vehicles delivered. I think it's going to happen. Again, might be a bit optimistic, but even 1.8 or 1.9 million vehicles would be absolutely amazing. Let's get excited about that. So what's number 9? Number 9 is the great enabler. 4680 makes so much else possible. The 4680 battery has advantages in terms of power, the ability to deliver power faster to the car, the ability to absorb more power during charging, the ability to produce batteries at scale at lower cost per kilowatt hour, which makes it easier to deliver lower cost battery packs, the ability to do structural pack with 4680. All of this comes together that 4680 enables Model Y to go to high volume production out of Giga Berlin and Giga Texas in 2022. And ultimately in 2023 becoming the best-selling car in the world. That's what's coming. That's what 4680 enables. It also enables Tesla Semi. It also enables Cybertruck. A lot of the things that we're looking forward to from Tesla, particularly in vehicles, Semi, Cybertruck, and Model Y, and ultimately maybe Model 3 as well, all of these things are delivered with 4680 cells. So we're going to see 4680 scale production. Right now they're producing at reasonable scale in Fremont. We're going to see the cell production lines in Giga Texas and Giga Berlin come online in 2022, start producing at significant scale somewhere in 2022. And towards the end of 2022, they're going to be ramped. They're going to be delivering higher volumes. And that's going to lead to 4680 Model Y with structural pack. It's going to lead to Cybertruck. It's going to lead to Semi. We're going to start to see all these things rolling. And the first example we're going to see of that is Model Y 4680 structural pack. Model Y 4680 structural pack is going to have front and rear castings, not just rear casting, but front and rear castings, which massively simplifies manufacture of the vehicle. It's going to have structural pack, which again simplifies production of the vehicle. And all of these things together mean the vehicle weighs about 500 pounds less than the current Model Y. The current Model Y has already been called the best car in the world. And you're going to take the same vehicle, you're going to drop 500 pounds, you're going to make it easier to manufacture. You're going to increase performance because on the one hand, it weighs 500 pounds less. And on the other hand, the 4680 cell outputs power faster. What we're going to see is coming out of Giga Texas first and Giga Berlin later is a high performance Model Y. If current performance Model Y is, let's say, $60,000 or $65,000, we're going to see a $75,000 or $80,000 Model Y coming out of Giga Texas. And this thing is going to be lights out unbelievable. Under 3 seconds, 0 to 60. Close to 400 miles of range, if not actually 400 miles of range. Spectacular handling because it's lighter weight. And it's going to be lower cost to build. It's this package. And so the margins on this vehicle are going to be off the charts. It's going to make so much money. It's going to cost less to build it, and they're going to sell it for more. If it currently costs $30,000 to build a Model Y in Shanghai that they sell for $50,000 or $55,000, Now it's going to cost $25,000 to make an $80,000 car. And the profit on that vehicle just goes up and up and up. And this just drives Tesla's revenue and drives Tesla's profit. And demand for this vehicle is going to be off the charts. And this is one of those things that when the Model Y 4680 with structural pack hits the road and gets reviewed by Car and Driver and Road and Track and Motor Trend, and actual people get their hands on it and drive it, and they experience it for themselves, then people are going to go nuts for like how unbelievable this vehicle is going to be. This is the super SUV. This is going to be the vehicle you're going to want to have. So watch for it, by the way. Watch for when Tesla announces that you can put orders in for the Giga Texas Model Y with structural pack. Because when that order option becomes available, you're going to want to order as soon as possible. You're going to be first in line to get this thing. Because you're going to want it, and if you can't afford it, you're going to buy it anyway, and you're going to sell it to somebody else for more money. I mean, that's not what I recommend. I recommend buying it, holding it, but this is going to be the vehicle to have. You're going to want this vehicle. It's going to be amazing. So what's number 7? Not as important for the company long term, but still significant. Model S and Model X will start getting produced at scale. They're still being held up by various things that are holding up production, supply chain issues, and Tesla's focus is really heavy on Model Y, so they have limited engineering talent available to really focus on scaling Model S and X. But when Model S and X scale, you're going to see more than 100,000 vehicles a year coming out of Fremont, Model S's and X's. Maybe they deliver 100,000 in 2022. I think that's overly optimistic. I think it'll be less than 100,000 vehicles, but it's going to be approaching that, and they're certainly going to be on pace by the end of the year to deliver more than that pace for 2023. So Model S and Model X, they're the Halo cars until Cybertruck comes at least. They are very special vehicles. I have a Model X Plaid on order, supposed to be delivered in April. We'll see whether I actually go ahead with buying a $140,000 car. I haven't persuaded myself to actually make the purchase yet. We'll see what happens with Cybertruck. I'll be talking about Cybertruck later in this video. It may be that when I hear what's coming with Cybertruck, I decide not to bother going forward with Model X Plaid. But most likely I'm going to buy the Model X Plaid and drive it until Cybertruck becomes available, and then sell the Model X Plaid, because it's going to be one heck of a lot of fun to have that vehicle. It is important when you think about it in this sense that when Model S and Model X are produced and delivered at scale, and let's say it's 100,000 vehicles a year, I think they actually go over 100,000 vehicles a year at some point to maybe 120 to 150,000 vehicles a year. But at 100,000 vehicles a year at an average selling price of $100,000, that's $10 billion in revenue for Tesla. And it's high margin revenue. Model S and Model X, once produced at scale, their cost of production is low, their price of sale is high. Tesla makes a lot of profit on those vehicles. So it's $10 billion in revenue. It might be $4 billion in gross income on that $10 billion. And if it goes to 150,000 vehicles a year, and maybe the average selling price is a little higher than 100,000, then maybe you're getting close to $20 billion in revenue and even more profit. All of this adds up beautifully to just boost. Again, it's not the bread and butter. The bread and butter is Model Y, to some extent Model 3 and Cybertruck. But Model S and Model X can have a significant impact on Tesla's bottom line and on the share price, something that Teslaonaires care about. ElonBits.com for the shirt. And of course, number 6 is Cybertruck. I am really excited about Cybertruck. I have 2 Cybertrucks on order. I am expecting that somewhere close to the end of 2022, we will see the first Cybertruck deliveries. It's going to be a quad motor Cybertruck. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fast. It's going to have great torque. It's going to have great towing capacity. It's going to have great carrying capacity. It's going to be bulletproof. It's got all these great advantages. It's going to have long range. This is going to be exciting to see. Great off-road capability. This is a monster package. I am really, really excited about Cybertruck, and I think we're going to see Cybertruck starting to. We hopefully will see the first Cybertrucks delivered by the end of 2022. When you listen to Elon, it sounds like it might get pushed into 2023. If you listen to the Q3 investor call, I think it was Lars, the way he talked about it, it sounded like it might even be Q3 that we start seeing deliveries. But there hasn't been any hint of the manufacturing line for Cybertruck going in place in Giga Texas yet. That's not to say it hasn't happened. We just haven't heard about any progress. And the last I saw, Elon said they were still tweaking the design. So there's still little changes that have to happen. But Cybertruck is coming. It's going to be amazing. This is going to be a huge vehicle for Tesla because quad motor Cybertruck's probably going to be a $100,000 vehicle. If Model X Plaid is going to be $120,000 or $140,000, then quad motor Cybertruck is probably going to be a better vehicle overall. It should sell for over $100,000. And I think we're going to see Tesla scale production of Cybertruck fairly quickly once they get going. Dual motor Cybertruck will cost less money. but quad motor Cybertruck will be the big one. Once they scale production, there's no reason to think that Tesla can't hit 1 million Cybertrucks a year. If Ford F-150 can sell 1 million Ford F-150s a year, then why can't Tesla sell 1 million Cybertrucks a year? It's going to be a better vehicle all around. So 1 million Cybertrucks at a $75,000 average selling price. Let me say that again. 1 million Cybertrucks. Let's say it's a $50,000 average selling price. That's $50 billion in revenue just on Cybertruck. Cybertruck is coming. Now, the 1 million Cybertrucks is 2023 or 2024, probably 2024. But 2023, we're going to see 300,000 Cybertrucks. 2022, hopefully we get a trickle. Hopefully we get 10, 20,000. Hopefully we get mine. I'm ballpark number 10,000 for delivery, so we'll see. Maybe I get mine and I'll be showing it off on this channel like crazy. I think Cybertruck is the true halo car for Tesla until the battery day vehicle comes along. Maybe Cybertruck is going to be insane. People are going to see this thing on the road. They're going to love it. They're going to hate it, but they're going to notice it. And it's going to build Tesla's brand more than anything else. Can't wait to see this happen. So what's number 5? This is an off-the-radar thing that people don't think about as much. When insiders talk about Tesla's big advantages, supercharger network's a big advantage. Tesla is now at approximately 30,000 superchargers worldwide. They're producing in the ballpark of 2,500 superchargers a quarter, or that's what they have been producing recently. I think that is increasing, and we're going to see a faster rollout of superchargers. So 40,000 is really a conservative estimate by the end of 2022. It may be 45,000 superchargers. And that just makes it easier to charge your Tesla. It makes the advantage of the Tesla supercharger network even greater. It's even easier for people who have a Tesla who need a quick charge to find a spot to get charged. It's even easier to manage your highway trip, to be able to stop in the right place to get charged. And then we're probably going to see a version 4 supercharger that goes above 250 kilowatts. Maybe we're going to see a 350 kilowatt supercharger. And the 4680 vehicles will probably be able to absorb charge more quickly, so they will charge faster as well. That's another feature that we believe is coming with 4680 cells. And generally speaking, I think Tesla's figuring out how they can enable faster charging. Not only that a higher kilowatt charge rate overall, but that the curve of how long the vehicle can accept fast charging will probably be longer with 4680. So we're going to see a lot of benefits with this coming. Supercharger network expanding makes Tesla that much more of a killer product and killer service available for customers. It's one of Tesla's biggest advantages in selling vehicles to customers compared to other EVs, and really, honestly, compared to gas stations. Having on your car, it telling you where to stop to charge, optimizing where you charge, is a big advantage when you're going on a trip. So look for 40,000 superchargers and maybe even 45,000 superchargers by the end of 2023. This enables a lot of the Tesla revolution. So what's number 4? Related to that 2 million vehicle number that I gave at the beginning, we're going to see the factories ramp. We're going to see Giga Texas ramp. We're going to see Giga Berlin ramp. And we're going to watch this happening. We're going to see vehicles pouring out of these factories at greater and greater volumes. And we're going to have run numbers of how many vehicles they produced in a quarter or in a month. We're going to get a pretty good idea of how they're doing. And by the end of 2022, we should expect to see very high volumes of vehicles coming out of Giga Texas and Giga Berlin. At the same time, Tesla Fremont has sort of been held back by a variety of factors. And as Giga Shanghai scales up too, as Giga Texas and Giga Berlin scale up, at some point we're going to see some revisions to the lines at Fremont to enable them to produce at higher volumes in Fremont as well. So right now, it seems like Fremont rarely produces more than 500,000 vehicles in a year. I think for 2022, we're going to see Fremont hit 600,000 or 700,000, and it's going to be on a path to maybe 900,000 vehicles going out to 23 or 24. These ramps matter because it enables Tesla to achieve higher and higher volumes of vehicles, because we don't stop with 2 million vehicles in 2022. We're looking at 2023 saying, can we double again? Can we go to 4 or 5 million in 2023? Big optimistic numbers, but Giga Texas is huge. Giga Berlin is huge. Shanghai is producing really, really high volumes, and Shanghai is probably going to expand. And I think we're going to see the potential in 2023 for all these factories combined to start approaching 5 million vehicles a year for 2023. A little crazy, but I don't think it's that crazy. And that's going to be a big, big deal. When Cybertruck ramps, when Model Y ramps, you can see 1.5 million, 2 million Model Ys in 2023, coming out of Texas, Berlin, Fremont, and Shanghai. And Cybertruck's going to ramp. Then Model 3 is going to probably continue to grow, and battery day vehicles coming. I think battery day vehicles going to be held off till 2024, but we'll see. Watching these factories ramp is sort of, I think this is one of the things that the Tesla watchers, the drone cameras, and other people are going to be noticing, that there's all this huge volume of vehicles pouring out of these factories. It's going to be visible from drone footage. Oh, look, a whole bunch more vehicles came out of the factory, and it's going to be more and more, and you're just going to see this hitting. It's going to be a big deal. So what's number 3? Okay, FSD Wide Release is a big one. This is a monster. This is something that unlocks so much more profit and revenue potential for Tesla, because right now FSD is limited, FSD beta, to a small number of people. I'm one of the FSD beta testers. I'm enjoying driving my car. I feel safer driving at home at night when I'm tired with FSD. There are moments when FSD beta is well worth it. FSD beta is going to improve. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. And as FSD beta improves, at some point with the addition of Dojo increasing the rate of improvement, we're going to see where Tesla says, okay, it's time for FSD to go in a wide release, and everybody who has FSD, everyone who paid for FSD gets FSD, and that leads to deferred revenue recognition, which is a big boost to Tesla's revenue numbers for 2022, because this is probably going to happen in the first 6 months of 2022. But even if it happens third or fourth quarter, overall, the revenue recognition is going to hit for 2022, and that's going to be a big number for Tesla. On top of that, the hope is that the take rate goes up, that more people who are buying Tesla say, hey, this is really cool, I want this, and more people buy FSD. And then the question is, when it goes into wide release, do they raise the price of FSD? And does this get us closer to the world of robotaxis, where we actually decide the vehicles can drive themselves? This is big. I think we're a little ways off of the robotaxi. Are we going to see robotaxis by the end of 2022? That might be a stretch. We'll see how much Dojo does. That was my prediction before. I still think it might happen that we see robotaxis by the end of 2022. Another big advantage of wide release is this is more data that's generated that allows Dojo to process even more data and make the improvements in FSD even faster. So all of these things come together. Great stuff coming for Tesla. We're getting close to the big ones, though. What's number 2? This is one of those off-the-radar things that some people aren't paying as much attention to, but Megapack is going to explode. There's a Megapack factory now. Megapack is going to start scaling production. We're going to start to see high volumes of Megapacks delivered to utility installations and others. And as Megapack scales, it's just a big value add. Megapacks sell for about $1 million. You do 1,000 Megapacks, that's $1 billion in revenue. You do 10,000 Megapacks, that's $10 billion in revenue. That starts to be a significant impact on Tesla. As they scale this generation of Megapacks, they're going to learn a lot from that, and we're going to see another Megapack factory and another Megapack factory, probably on other continents. And we're going to see this grow and grow and grow, and this is going to end up being a very, very substantial part of Tesla's revenue story down the road. This is going to be enabled by what Drew Baglino called a flotilla of batteries, probably lithium iron phosphate batteries from CATL coming from China, and maybe they'll start figuring out how to assemble lithium iron phosphate batteries or make lithium iron phosphate batteries in the US and in Europe to supply Megapack production in the US and in Europe. I think this is all coming, and this is where we don't talk about Tesla Energy as much. We focus so much on Tesla vehicles, but Tesla Energy is coming. Ultimately, Tesla Energy is going to be huge, and this is the beginning of that S-curve where Megapack is going to really start to expand. We're going to see this soon. It's going to matter. It's going to be exciting. So we're coming to the big one. Number 1 is coming, but I'm going to give you a hint. There's also a number 0. What's number 1? So number 1 is overall revenue numbers and profit numbers for Tesla. I think we're going to see $120 billion or more in revenue for 2022. This is a monster growth number because 2020 was about $30 or $32 billion in revenue, maybe 35. So this is basically a 4x in revenue in 2 years. This is ridiculously insane fast growth. This is the kind of growth you very rarely see with any company, and this is one of the largest companies in the world growing at an insane rate. I think 150 billion in revenue is possible. If we get the deferred revenue recognition from FSD, if take rate of FSD goes up, if the pricing of Tesla's vehicles keeps increasing as it has been increasing, we're going to start to see higher average selling price with higher volume of deliveries, with more add-ons like FSD, increasing revenue. So I think 150 billion in revenue is still within reach for 2022. 120 billion is likely. 150 billion is within reach. And along with that, you have net income. Net income at $12 billion is a big number. We might see 15, we might see $20 billion in net income. locating your factory on the same continent as your customers, as the same continent as your supply chain, lowers your costs. It lowers your cost of transporting the raw materials to the factory. It lowers your cost of delivering the vehicles from the factory to the customer. It shortens the time it takes to get the vehicle from the factory to the customer. It reduces tariffs or eliminates tariffs. There's all these advantages to what Tesla's doing in terms of expanding its production to other continents. So Giga Shanghai has already done a lot of this, but Giga Berlin is going to do a lot more of this. And now the Giga Shanghai production isn't going to be shipped to Europe anymore. It's going to stay in Asia. And Giga Texas and Tesla Fremont are going to serve North America very, very well. So we're going to see a big expansion of these vehicles delivered with a big reduction in the cost of delivering the vehicles. You've got the cost of manufacturing going down as they improve manufacturing methods. You've got the transportation costs going down. You've got the tariff costs going down. All of these things mean much bigger net income. And I'm saying 12 billion in net income here, but I think 20 billion is 15 or 20 billion is possible. We're going to see that the future net income for Tesla is going to be, you're just looking down the road and you're seeing that 20 billion in net income is coming and 30 billion in net income is coming. And you start to process those numbers and you think about it a little bit and you realize, wait a minute, with a healthy price earnings ratio, the value of the company goes up and up and up, and the market cap is way more than $1 trillion. And what does that mean? That takes us to number 0. Number 0, the last prediction of this video, is that I think we're going to see Tesla's share price go over $2,500 a share by the end of 2022. I don't like making short-term stock price predictions. I actually think this is still a short-term stock price prediction, so I don't like doing this. We should never doubt the ability of Wall Street to undervalue Tesla. But when you put all these things together, when you see Giga Berlin and Giga Texas ramping, when you see 2 million vehicles delivered in the year, when you see all these other things coming together, when you see FSD go into wide release, when you see Megapack exploding, when you see all of this stuff coming together, I think Wall Street's going to finally see enough of it to get the share price to $2,500. I think the share price by the end of 2022 should be $5,000, but Wall Street won't catch on. We're going to see $2,500 to $3,000 a share by the end of 2022. Being a Teslainaire, I like this concept. A Teslainaire shirt is for people who either have $1 million in Tesla stock or they aspire to have $1 million in Tesla stock. And if you have, let's say, $400,000 in Tesla stock now, and Tesla stock goes over $2,500, you're going to have $1 million in Tesla stock later, as long as you hold. Remember, just hold. I haven't sold Tesla stock yet. And that means you should be thinking about the Teslainaire shirt. It's for people who already are Teslainaires or people who think they might soon become Teslainaires. It's at elonbits.com. Please check out the shirt. This is one of the best-selling shirts on elonbits.com. Of course, please watch my other videos. Please support the channel on Patreon. Please become a YouTube channel member. Please support the channel on the Locals platform. Links to all of that in the description below. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and a Festivus to the rest of us. Thank you all so much for watching.